we start weeding out those games out of the list right away. Performance is complete garbage. It's a wasted impression. And as a brand advertiser, they don't want to spend their money. They want to see, for every dollar that I'm putting into the grinder, what's delivering on the back end. And that's the blessing and the curse of the digital world, where we can basically track everything to the back end. That a lot of ad gaming solutions that have come to the table over the last little while, it was extremely fragmented. There was a lot of VC money being poured into ad tech over the last 4 years. And what we are seeing is that a lot of those investors are not coming back and saying, where's my money? What is going on? I can tell you from my end, and like I mentioned before, we only operate in the Canadian market. We are getting pinged left, right, and center right now by a lot of smaller ad tech delivery companies looking, can we merge? Can we work together? Can we do more of this type of stuff? So once again, and I think it was mentioned earlier, it's the system starts to weed itself out. The stronger, solid business models that were actually generating revenue and doing well, not just for the brand advertisers, but as well as for the gaming publishers, they're the ones that are sticking around. And my gut feeling is that over the next 12 months, we will probably see a lot more mergers and or companies falling off to the side. And this doesn't just apply to the gaming world. We're seeing this happening across the ad tech world, right across the board at this moment in time. Rewarded video, rewarding type of interactions is key. I'll give you some numbers on this where we run A/B testing. When you do, and we've done this, we actually did it with EA, an intrusive ad unit with no reward, with the X on the top corner to close it. We saw about 85% of users closing it, right? When you make it rewarded, as the other panelists just mentioned here, we see 95% completion because you're giving that user something in return for their time, okay? And you're creating a positive brand experience where now, whether it's P&G, we did this with Head & Shoulders, whether it's Head & Shoulders now targeting males, well, guess what? Now it's a positive brand experience that you just created where P&G just allowed you to get to the next level, as opposed to forcing it down their throat. Less is more. It's that experience. And as a brand advertiser, you want your brand associated with a positive experience. So you are playing the game. It's a positive experience, reinforces the positive brand affinity that you want to create with that audience. We don't think of that sometimes, and we've worked with a number of gaming publishers that, as it was said here, they literally just throw ads everywhere. And we run brand lift studies. And what we have found is that brand affinity within those games where shit's just getting thrown at the user goes way down. No brand wants to be associated with that, regardless whether it's a shooting game or whatever it is. So my suggestion is less is more, number one. Number two, be very strategic. If we look back at the genesis of advertising, soap operas, why was it? P&G came in and they basically embedded it. It was part of the experience. Think of it in the same manner. It's very, very simple. I think that sometimes we overthink this. The other thing that I will add to that is part of that experience is try to reward the user for the more time that they're spending in playing your game, whether that is rewarded video, whether that is associating the brand with, you get to a certain level and you gotta watch the ad, or you gotta interact with the brand in some way, shape, or manner, embedded within the game experience, performs extremely well. And these are the types of things that brand advertisers wanna see. This is also part of the thinking from the conversations that we've had with major brands and their agencies. Part of the thinking is well, we see that those banner ads everywhere, or maybe they have a game and they get bombarded by ads. Well, let's be specific. Let's curate a list of specific games that target that audience, depending on the data and the demographic profile that you want to target, and let's start testing it, and let's make sure that we're embedding this. And this is a lot of what we're doing, where we're working with our partners, we're working with gaming publishers, where we're actually saying, let's go beyond the banner, let's go beyond the video, and actually, how can we embed the brand within the game and create that overall holistic user experience? Testing out whether that campaign is working, whether that contextual or what you thought or what we thought what's a contextual relevant environment for that brand to be in, whether that is working. And if it's not, being able to have other options to either expand further, be able to create scale, do some A/B testing. There's a lot, and depending on the market, like here in the Canadian market right now, in Quebec, the privacy laws that are about to come into play in Quebec are, if you thought GDPR in Europe was tough, what's coming down the line in Quebec puts GDPR, makes them look like a little child, okay? The Canadian government for next year is coming out with different regulations. So we're almost going back to basics. So for example, if you want to target a male 18 to 34, well, what are the types of games that they're playing? So this is where, to your point, the data that game publishers or game developers are collecting from the offset allows us to start creating those sets so that we can go in and sort of start catering and really start testing. That's at the stage where we're at right now until something else comes along that gives us the insights that we had up to maybe 6 months ago, a year ago. That's the process in which we're going right now.